So I've always been interested in video games. I've played a number of them and always kind of had an itch to try to make one myself. But every time I start up a project, I get some part way through, then get discouraged and never really end up following through. So I've decided to make a video series. Maybe this will help keep me sort of on top of things and encourage me to come back and keep going. And also, anyone else who's interested in maybe making their own game can follow along. Maybe this will be an opportunity to go through that together. So I'll stop yapping and try to get right into it here. So the first thing I think I should get is some kind of character movement. Maybe get somebody who's running around and doing something in this little world here. Um, and it's going to be interesting because I've never used Unity before. So I know that there's this project here, and we've got a couple things. Oh, we got some models. That's kind of cool. I guess this is where you store your assets. So I'll probably need a folder for character or something. Excuse my keyboard, it's very loud. My old one broke. It was kind of nice. It was, falling apart, and so I just literally bought the cheapest Logitech keyboard that I could find that was mechanical. Um, yeah, so sorry about that. Anyways, so let's get started. I have a tutorial open on my other screen here by a guy named Brackeys, and he's showing how you're going to create a first-person movement in Unity, or he calls it an FPS controller. So I'm just going to be following along here, and hopefully it works out. He's got an environment set up. He's got some like stuff in the background. I don't, so hopefully it works out. And hopefully is the keyword here. So, okay. The first thing he does is he creates a game object. And from what I understand, these are objects here in this hierarchy section, and you can add components to them. They're like containers, or maybe I don't know how close it is to a class and like, software development where you kind of add methods to a class, but that's kind of what came to mind. So we're going to create an empty object, and he calls it first person player. I'm just going to call it player. And it looks like what he does here is he goes to this add component and he adds something called character control. There it is. Okay, so he's got this thingy here and he's edited this radius and height. And also it looks like there's something that says gizmo. So I think I'm on a different version of Unity than this guy. So I have no idea how the heck I'm going to get this gizmo. Hold on, I'm going to pause while I figure it out. For some reason, my scene thing doesn't have this bar at the top, but when I go into this game section, I do see it here. So here's the gizmos. I wonder if you just hit. Okay, well, I guess we don't get gizmos, so tough luck. But I guess we'll just move on. Looking around feels so unintuitive. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the problem. Anyways, so Gizmos is not here. I've been defeated by Gizmos. First thing that happens is we change this from zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.6 because apparently that extra zero point 0.1 is everything, right? And then the height is more substantial increase, gets changed to 3.8. Oh no, what happened to our Gizmos? Oh, okay, I think we just, okay. The Gizmos are back. I think we need to add a little object to this. I think if we just play the game now, we're not going to really be able to see anything. We want to add a cylinder to this. So we want to add 3D object quad plane cylinder here. Okay, I hate that. Why did it like move to the side like that? That's kind of weird. So now we have gizmos on cylinder action. Cool. Probably want to center this position. It's kind of odd. Maybe there's like a reset function. Reset, no. Right click me. Ah, reset. There we go. Okay, so, oh, that's not good. So this camera, okay, maybe we can reset this too. All right, sweet. Okay, it looks like cylinder's like a subsection of player. Maybe I can like click and drag it. Okay, sweet. What he does in the video is he goes ahead and scales it. So we go 1.2. All right, a little thicker cylinder, a little taller, and evens it out with this at 1.2. Okay, so now we have our cylinder, we have our player, and most importantly, we have our gizmos. It says to get rid of this capsule collider. And the reason he says is because apparently we've already got one baked into this character controller. So I'm just going to trust him. Remove component. You have been removed. Okay, so this is an extremely ugly gray. I don't know anything about 3D design, but I do know that you get the body first, and typically after that you apply some kind of texture. So I'm assuming that's what the materials are, and I would assume maybe they're here. I don't think so. Maybe like this. Material. Okay. So we got our material, and maybe you want to call this character skin. All right, we got our character skin here, and it opens up the menu on the right. All right, so let's pick a color for this. Turquoise. There you go. Boom. And what's kind of cool is you can just drag and drop this. So we're gonna drag and drop that. We got our turquoise cylinder character here, and this is what's gonna be the character moving around. So probably what we want to do next is attach the camera onto this character. And I don't know how to do that, but I guess this is the camera. Oh, that's not the camera. The main camera is here. He attaches the camera as a child of the player. So let's do that. And probably our character's head is going to be at the top here. So we probably want to translate this guy such that the position is a little higher. Don't want it to be right at the top because then if you jump and your head hits a wall or the ceiling, you can clip through and obviously that's not good. So I think that's probably good enough. Next thing we do is we want to create some scripts according to this video. And the scripts are going to help uh, tell the game when we give inputs what to do with this camera. So they go to add component and just type in the name mouse look. I guess it comes up like this, which is kind of dandy. But where is it going to save that script? Name, new script, mouse look. Oh, all right. Okay, so we've created, here's our mouse look. I clicked it. Okay, nothing happened. So I think we have to open this in an editor. So I use VS Code. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. So this is our script here. C# dev kit. Do you want to install it? All right, why not? Okay, so I looked it up and we definitely want to float. For anyone unaware what a float is, you have integers and floats. Integers are like whole numbers, floats are decimal numbers. Mouse X direction, and then the way that it says online is you write input, I guess it's like the input class, get axis, and then here we write mouse X. And I think in C you have to put the semicolon at the end here. Okay, so I added these variables here. We got our mouse X, mouse Y. I really hate that it's not colored. That kind of stinks. But anyways, we'll just assume everything's okay. We want to apply it to this mouse sensitivity. So to the mouse position. So I think it just gets multiplied in according to this video. And then after that, we also go into this time class and add delta time. I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna hope that this is the correct thing to do. Here we are. We've got our mouse X and our mouse Y. So next we want to be able to rotate the player. I guess this is going to rotate as we mouse over in the X direction. And the way this is done apparently is we have to add some kind of transform variable. So I don't know what that is, but again, it's public, so I guess it's going to be used across classes or whatever. All right, so transform player body. So we're going to transform the player body. And then within the update, this is where we want to do some more stuff. So we're going to take our player body and then there's a rotate class. I know we're going to want to have our mouse X variable here because that's kind of what's controlling the rotation. But they also have this vector3 dot up. I guess vector3 is just, like XYZ, and then I don't know why it's up, but we'll just, it's not a comma, it's actually a multiplication. Move on. So we have our transform, we have the mouse sensitivity. Now we need to track the rotation, which makes sense because we want to probably rotate the actual body by however much the mouse moves. In the video, we go float x rotation equals 0f. So I guess f is just for float. Kind of weird that you have to do that even though you already declare float. So this guy seems like he knows what he's talking about. So let's just trust him. Rotation minus equals mouse y. So every time we mouse y updates, we're going to update x rotation. We go back here and then we go transform local rotation equals quaternion dot Euler. What's Euler doing here, man? Okay, Euler. And then we go x rotation 0f 0f. So I guess this kind of makes sense. This is probably x, y, and z. Does it have a little tooltip here? It doesn't. Probably because I don't have the right like pre-compiler. And Python, I think it's called Pylance. I probably just don't have the right one here. Anyway, so we got x rotation, and then we want to clamp x rotation. So we go math f is the class, clamp is the method, and then we go x rotation negative 90f, 90f. I guess those are the bounds. So I think at this point we should be good to go. I guess we can test it out. Like, how are we gonna connect? Uh, oh, we're updating. Okay, we're done updating. Cool. So we go main camera. So here's the mouse look script that we just made. And we want to attach this camera to that guy. So, or sorry, not the camera, the player. So we go player, boom, there's the player body. So these are the variables we created. Mouse sensitivity, yeah, there it is. Player body, and then we got X rotation. Curious that that one's not there. I wonder why. Maybe because it's not public. Maybe that's why it's public. That's what public means. Okay, cool. So we have that. And I guess if we hit play, um, all right, nothing's happening. Uh, all right, I will be back again while I try to figure out what the heck's going on. What a delight. So apparently I have to do this. I should probably save. Apparently, so what I did is I went into Edit, Project Settings, and I just searched up Active Input Handling. I don't know if this is going to fix it, but let's give it a shot. And of course, the whole frickin' engine has to start up again. I had the new input system enabled. So the old input.get access quote, 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 mouse, this guy wouldn't work or may not show up. So what we want to do is we want to change that setting so it shows both. I guess I can close this now. Hopefully this will work now. Let's try running the game. All I see is black. Can we not look up? It's really slow. Okay, so I think this, maybe we can crank the sensitivity up, but what if we put it up to like 300? How about that? This was working a second ago. What's going on? Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. All right, here we go. Why is it doing that? Why are we like, all right, well, I guess up and down is right, but something is weird about left and right. That's odd. Hmm. So how do I, okay. So there must be something a little funky about the script. I added two little things here, like that. What this does is it locks the cursor, so and it turns it invisible, just so we don't have the cursor kind of stuck in the middle of the screen there. Otherwise, everything is kind of the same. This is slightly differently named, um, and this is differently named too. I just kind of copied exactly how it is in the video. So I'm just curious, why when we rotate, why does it kind of like rotate weirdly like that? So let's find out. Okay, so I didn't really do anything special. It kind of worked a bit now. All I did, well, first let's double check that it's actually working again. So I go here, click on this, so now we're like in, so we can actually control it. I'm just moving my mouse around. So this looks more correct. And I guess there was something wrong with how the main camera position and cylinder position lined up. So all I did was I just went in here, I went right click transform and then reset, and I did that on both of them. Then I repositioned the camera to be at the top here. So I guess that's working. But the good news is that for some reason, I don't know why I keep starting by looking down, but we have a camera here and we can look around. That's kind of cool. And I really do have to move this mouse around a lot to get any sort of good movement, but we'll just roll with this for now. Okay, that was a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. All right. Uh, what we do is we go to player here, we add a component and go to add a new script. And in the video, we call this player movement. So I'm just going to go, what did I call the other one? Whatever, player movement, new script, and we're going to add the script. So we want to float X, and we want to, oh, no uppercase, please. And we want to float Z. So this will be like our horizontal plane for now. I guess we'll add jumping later, but it's just going to be again like input. How do we do it over here? Input get access. So input dot get access. So horizontal, and then Z is our vertical. So input dot get access vertical. And then we use this vector3 function again. Move transform dot right times x. So I guess this x gets our position in the horizontal plane. And of course, it can be positive or negative. So that's why we don't have to actually do anything extra other than this. So x can be positive or negative, and we're always transforming right in some increment. We're just going to add the vectors up. So transform forward times z. And then lastly, controller. I hate that this is all white. Why do I not have colors? That's really annoying. Maybe it's something to do with that error message that keeps popping up. Oh well. Okay, controller move times speed. So he has a speed variable as well. I'll add that in later, but I guess that's going to be a public float times time dot delta time. So I guess this time dot delta time is like the tick rate or something. And then we're gonna calculate the next vector, like the direction of movement like this, and multiply it by the speed. Thinking about the units here. Maybe I'm just thinking too hard. It's the weekend. Why am I thinking? So let's stop thinking and just follow the video. Public character controller, and then call this controller. Oh, now this is blue. Okay, sick. Okay, and then in the video, it goes public float speed is equal to 12f. And I have a feeling this is not going to be enough because I set to 100f before, and the mouse sensitivity I set to 100f and it was not moving. So I'm going to go ahead and just multiply that, just maybe go to 40. Hopefully that's good enough. And back in Unity, if we go ahead and click player, we have our player movement. Oh, it's got update. Okay. So, and I think this controller we need to reference now. So we want to go ahead and do this, or this, maybe, I don't know. I hope the controller is referenced. So let's fire this bad boy up. All right, gamers. Moment of truth. Whoa! Oh, I'm fast. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, that's much more very. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Now we're like running around. Look, we got these like, oh, I got a shadow too. Look at me. Oh, I'm so cylindrical. I'm like a little pill. So we want to add gravity. Negative 9.81. And the way he does it in the video is all he does is he goes velocity. He adds this velocity vector. Oh, it's a vector. Okay. Velocity, a vector 3, velocity. Okay. Why are you not lighting up? All right. I guess we're not lighting up. And then we go velocity dot y. That's okay. I'll leave it lowercase. Plus equals gravity times time dot delta time. Okay, so that's how you do gravity. So I guess that's kind of like an acceleration, right? So the velocity in the y direction is just this gravity. So I guess it's going to start from 0 somehow and then keep accelerating at this thing per tick, which is per second. So, okay. I was right to be a little bit suspicious of this kind of thing. Sorry, this kind of thing here. This is just continuously building up gravity. Add a ground check, which makes sense, right? You only want to start accelerating when, not on ground is true. And the way this is done is we go ahead and go to player and add an empty thing to this, call it ground check. And then we go ahead and just put this right at the bottom here. So it looks like we need to check when when this guy is colliding with something. So, okay. So in the video, the next thing we do is we create a I don't like how this is spaced out like that. Why is this like this? This is kind of, I don't need to, okay, whatever, it's okay. So here we go. We add a public transform round check. That, there we go. And then the next thing we add is a public float ground distance. And this is set to 0.4 f. So I guess we're not totally on the ground. Uplift. Little spelling error there. And then the last thing is a ground mask. And so this ground mask here is supposed to only, it's supposed to only pick out the ground, which I guess makes sense. You don't want to be, maybe if you want to interact with walls or something, you don't want that to get messed up. So only when you're touching the ground are you not accelerating downwards. All right, sure. So layer, mask, ground, mask. So we have these things, and I guess we're going to add a little check and update. Oh, we probably need a Boolean too. How do you do that in C sharp? Um, bool, oh, bool, there we go. Okay, bool, um, on ground. I guess the more correct way to do it is grounded. Okay. Maybe I'll have like a little mechanic in this game. If you don't eat your vegetables, you get grounded and you can't jump or something. Oh, I'm so funny. Okay. Physics dot check sphere. Sphere, why sphere? Ground check dot position ground distance. Is that it? Oh, and a ground mask, of course. So I guess if I had the proper like thing that's like reading this and understanding actually what's going on, um, I could like hover over this check sphere thing and it would tell me what the input parameters are. But I guess for now I just have to trust this guy, which I do. Worked out well for me so far. So next we gotta add our if statement. So go here, if is grounded and velocity y is less than 0. I'll probably just leave it. So we go velocity y equals -2f. So what the heck is going on here? -2, I guess it is. So we're gonna go back in here, and in here we want to go to our player, and there should be, why is ground check not here? So where are my variables here? Oh, there's an error. Operator less than cannot be applied to operands of type vector3 and int. If is grounded and velocity, oh, velocity dot y. I guess that would make sense. Velocity is kind of like an object here, right? So we can't say ask if an object is less than 0. We would want uh, we would want the actual value that belongs to that object. So the y value, okay, that does make sense. Now we have another issue. Transform does not contain a definition for position and no accessible extension method position accepting a first. What a bunch of gobbledygook. Okay, well, I feel like a total idiot. Here was the problem. I'm sure people were seeing this, that this was the issue. Position. In the meanwhile, I also fixed all this lighting up issues. So, turns out I didn't have the .NET SDK, which is obviously important, but uh, on your end, if you ran into the same issue as me, uh, first make sure you have C Sharp DevKit, and the Unity extension if you're using VS Code like me. Then go ahead and download at least version 9.0 of the .NET. Then restart everything. Restart Unity, restart this guy, and you can open up the files again, and you should be able to see everything here. Anyways, so getting back to it, we go player, and here we go. Okay, sweet. So now we can link our ground check. This is good. And the ground mask, we can link to something. Uh, okay, so I don't have a ground layer, so I'm going to have to follow what he says in the video, which is you go to layers, add layer, user layer, ground. Got our layer here. How do I close this now? Layer. Okay, and just go ahead and hit ground. Boom. So player, what if we translate this guy up? Hopefully everything moves. Okay. So, all right, we're gonna actually put this up here. We'll test the gravity while we're at it. Happens. I am not falling. Okay. Well, I think I've been going at this for about an hour. Uh, I guess we're floating around and, at least we can move around and, look, this is kind of cool. This is better than what I had before. Um, but this is what I got. I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle. I, yeah. So I'll keep it up. Bye.